guys, I'm Vaishali Kikan and we are discussing the organic chemistry. So today we are going to start our discussion with the types of organic reactions. So we have the different types of the organic reaction based upon the halogenoalkanes we are using. We can have the primary, secondary or the tertiary halogenoalkanes, and what type of reaction we will be discussing. We are going to discuss nucleophilic substitution reaction. So the primary, secondary and the tertiary halogenoalkanes are going to react with the SN1 and SN2 mechanism. What are the SN1 and SN2 mechanism? S represents the substitution and represents the nucleophile. And 1 and 2 I am going to tell you what they represent, right? So now if I talk about the primary halogenoalkanes are reacting with the SN2 mechanism, substitution, nucleophilic or of the order 2 mechanism, right? So let's suppose we have this primary halogenoalkane CH3CH2Br. It is going to react with OH negative. OH negative here is the hydroxyl ion which is reacting in the presence of NaOH and heat to form CH3CH2OH plus Br negative, right? So what happens when I have the Br attached to carbon? So bromide, when it is attached to the carbon, so the bromide is electronegative, it is going to have some delta negative charge over it, because of which I will be having some delta positive charge on the carbon, due to which OH negative attracted towards it, right? OH negative will get attracted towards it. It is a nucleophile and it donates a lone pair of electron to carbon atom to form the coordinate covalent bond, right? So OH negative will be having some extra electrons, and it is sharing and it is donating it to the, it is not sharing, it is donating it to the carbon to form the coordinate covalent bond, so that here we can represent the movement of the electron pair. Here we have the carbon with the slightly positive charge, delta positive. This is my OH negative, which is the nucleophile. It is going to attack on this carbon. So this is a delta positive, this is a delta negative. So here the carbon and bromide bond is going to break with the heterolytic fission. What happens in the heterolytic fission? Both of the electrons, the shared electrons, will be moving towards only one atom. So bromine will be having the both of the electrons which are here on this bond. So it is going to form Br negative ion, and this OH negative ion will be going and it will be connecting with the carbon. So here we will be having the heterolytic fission. CBr is going to break into the form of Br negative. Both electrons go to the same atom on bond breakage. So here this nucleophile is going to attack on this compound only with the help of the heterolytic fission. You have to understand that. Now coming to the transition state and the activated complex. During this reaction we have an activated complex formed which is of a higher energy. So we all know the reactants are at a higher energy level. So if you see the potential energy of the reactants, it is high as compared to the potential energy of the products. But here if you see the transition state will be having the highest energy. So what is the transition state? The transition state will be the state when both bromine and OH negative ions are attached to this carbon. So here you can see of OH negative also. So it is dependent upon the initial reactants, the CH3CH2Br, as well as the concentration of the hydroxyl ion. So this is the reason it is of SN2 mechanism. It is of the order of 2. You can see the order here is 2. So SN2 mechanism will be having where OH negative approaches the C delta positive atom from opposite side to bromine, and due to which we will be having the invasion of the tetrahedral configuration, right? So you can see in the diagram that how when the OH negative is approaching, the reaction will happen, and due to which we will be having the opposite side of the attachment of the OH negative where the bromine was attached. So here if the bromine is attached to this side, OH negative will be attached to the reverse side, opposite side of it. So now here this is my stereospecific reaction, which means the stereochemistry of the reactants is determining the stereochemistry of the product. You can see in the diagram that the stereochemistry of the reactants will be having the umbrella, open umbrella type of structure, whereas the stereochemistry of the product will be having the umbrella open in the reverse direction type of stereochemistry. Right, so the reactant stereochemistry is responsible for the product stereochemistry. Coming to the tertiary halogenoalkanes. In the tertiary halogenoalkanes, we have CH3C, CH3Br, CH3 plus OH negative. In the presence of NaOH, it is going to give CH3C, CH3OH, CH3. So here you can see OH is coming over here. Now, the rate does not depend upon the concentration of NaOH. In the SN2 mechanism, the rate was dependent upon the concentration of reactants as well as the concentration of OH negative ions, right? But here, in the SN1 reaction, the rate does not depend upon the concentration of NaOH, right? So, it is the SN1 reaction. So, here, coming to the intermediate species. Here you have understood this was my intermediate species. Now, coming to the intermediate species over here. So, intermediate species would be CH3, C, CH3, CH3. So, this Br will be taking the electron. Here we will be having again the heterolytic fission. So, here this is a slow reaction. It is going to form this carbocation, right? So, here we will be having CH3, C, CH3 positive, CH3. So, now here we have the intermediate which is now attacked by the nucleophile rapidly. This is a slow step. Now this nucleophile, this is intermediate which is attacked by the nucleophile. So now when I have the nucleophile OH negative, it is going to react with this intermediate very fast and it is going to form CH3C, CH3OH, CH3 by the SN1 mechanism. And here I can state that the rate is dependent upon the initial concentration of the reactants only, right? So rate is dependent upon K, a concentration of the CH3,3CBr. Now here it is reacting with the SN1 mechanism and the rate is equal to K and multiplied with the concentration of halogenoalkane, right? In the SN2 mechanism, rate is dependent upon K multiplied with the concentration of halogenoalkane multiplied with the concentration of nucleophile. Here, the nucleophile's concentration is not dependent. So now coming to the question, arrange the following in order of rate of nucleophilic substitution by aqueous sodium hydroxide CH3CH2Cl, CH3CH2Br, CH33CBr, CH33CCl. So now here if I see the first two products, so here these are my primary halogenoalkanes and they are going to react with, primary are going to react with SN2 mechanism. These two are my tertiary halogenoalkane and they are going to react with SN1 mechanism. I know tertiary halogenoalkanes are reacting quickly than the primary halogenoalkanes. So if I compare last two and first two are going to react faster. Now what is the difference between the last two? Here we have the bromide ion, here we have the chloride ion. So now here CBr bond is weaker than the CCl bond. So I can say when I am doing the reaction, CBr bond is going to break fast than the CCl bond. So it is a stronger bond. Right, so bromo compound react faster as compared to the chloro compound. So coming to the overall reaction order. So here in these two, CH3,3CBr is going to react faster than CH3,3CCl. Then after that we will be having CH3CH2Br, then CH3CH2Cl. So overall reaction order is CH3,3CBr is greater than CH3,3CCl, greater than CH3CH2Br, greater than CH3CH2Cl. Now coming to the next type of reaction, which is the electrophilic addition reaction of alkenes, right? What are the alkenes? We all know it will be containing the double bond, right? So now electrophilic means electron deficient species which are positively charged, right? It is attracted to the region of high electron density. Whenever I have the positively charged species, it is attracted to the high electron density and it is going to accept a pair of electron from the covalent bond. So it is regarded as a Lewis acid, if you remember the equation or the definition of the Lewis acid. Now reaction of ethene with hydrogen bromide. So this is my ethene, CH2, double bond C, CH2 plus HBr. Now on providing heat, we will be having CH3, CH2Br, right? So here you can see what is the mechanism. In the mechanism, we have CH2 double bond C, CH2. Now here we have the double bond, the high electron density is present on the double bond. We will be having the sigma cloud as well as pi cloud which is having more electrons. So here in the HBr is a polar compound where we have partially positive charge on the hydrogen and partially negative charge on the bromine. So now here this partially positive charge on the hydrogen is attracted to what is double bond, and now here it is going to attracted toward this double bond, right? So here it is going to form this intermediate compound. This intermediate compound is carbocation. CH3, CH2, C here on the C we have a positive charge plus Br negative. The heterolytic fission of this HBr will happen and the bromine ion will be having both electrons. So CH3, CH2 positive will get attacked by this Br negative. This is the negative charge. On the carbon we have the positive charge and it is going to form CH3, CH2, Br. This is how the movement of electrons will take place. So alkenes here will be acting like a Lewis base and HBr will be acting like a Lewis acid. The intermediate that is formed over here is the carbocation. Now coming to the Markovnikov's rules. According to the Markovnikov's rules, when I am adding HX, X could be anything. Chlorine, bromine, iodine, right? Anything the X could be when it is added to the double bond of alkene. Hydrogen become attached to the carbon that is having the larger number of hydrogen atoms, right? So if I am talking about hydrogen, it will move to the carbon which is having more hydrogen atom, because secondary carbocation is more stable than primary carbocation due to the positive induction effect, and this happens because secondary carbocation are more stable than the primary, and even tertiary carbocation are more stable than secondary carbocation, right? And even the primary carbocation, the tertiary are most stable. So here you can see these are the various carbocations. This is my primary carbocation CCH3HH. This is my secondary carbocation CCH3CH3H, and here this is my tertiary carbocation which is CCH3CH3CH3. So here stability is going to increase towards the tertiary. So secondary carbocation is more stable from the primary and tertiary is more stable than the secondary due to the positive induction effect. So here the positive induction effect is due to this methyl group which is present, right? So let's understand this. So here if I have CH3, CH double bond CH2. So now here I am adding Br positive Cl negative. If I add H positive Cl negative, so Br is having partial positive, Cl is having partial negative. Instead of that I can add HCl as well. H is having partial positive, Cl is having partial negative. So bromine ion is now going to react like hydrogen, and in the Markovnikov's rule I told you hydrogen is going to attach to the carbon which is having more hydrogen atom. So here also bromine is going to get attached to the carbon which is having more hydrogen. So double bond will break and bromine is going to attach to this carbon and chlorine will going to attach to this carbon, right? If HCl was present, so at that time hydrogen was connected to this carbon and Cl was connected to this carbon. So we are going to get CH3, CHCl, CH2Br. This is my major product. Some minor product will also be formed, CH3, CHBr, CH2Cl according to the Markovnikov's rule. Now coming to the reaction of ethene with bromine. So when I have the ethene, so CH2 double bond C, CH2, right, plus Br2. So here we will be using a non-polar solvent. Non-polar solvent is used. So here you will be getting CH2Br, CH2Br, right? So now what happens over here? So we have the sigma cloud and the pi cloud over here at the double bond. So at the double bond we have the more electron density. So this more electron density is going to attract the positively charged bromine over here, right? It is, or I can say it will repel the electrons. So this bromine will be having more electron density. It will be having partial negative charge. The away bromine will be having the partial negative charge because the sigma cloud and pi cloud is near to this bromine, right? So it is going to repel away the electrons from this part, and this bromine will be getting the partial negative charge. This bromine will be getting the partial positive charge. Now this partial negative charge bromine is going to be attracted toward over here, and it is going to form intermediate CH2Br, C positive H2. So again this partial negative Br is going to form over here. It is going to attach over here. First the partial positive Br attacked over here and it formed CH2Br, C positive H2. Then the another Br negative is going to attack and it is going to form CH2Br, CH2Br. So again over here you can see how the bromonium ion is formed. We have CH2 double bond CH2. Again it is going to induce some partial positive and the partial negative charge on the Br2, and here it is going to attract the Br positive. So this Br positive is going to be attracted towards and it is going to form a intermediate bromonium ion which is having CH2 and these two carbon are attracted towards the Br positive ion. Now this Br negative is going to attack it and it is going to form CH2Br, right? So in this manner, I hope you can understand how the reaction is taking place. Now coming to the next reaction, that is the electrophilic substitution reaction. So here you can understand this with the help of the benzene. Benzene is this structure. Here we have 3 double bond and 3 single bond, but as I have already told you, we are not considering these double bonds, right? So here you can see these are 2 structures of the benzene. Here we have the double bond and here we have the double bond at the different location and single bond at the different location, but we are not having the separate double bond and the single bond. Instead, all of the 6 electrons are paired by all of the 6 carbon atoms. So we have 1.5 bonds over here. So this is how the benzene structure is represented. Benzene is a resonance hybrid of these 2 structures which is having the 1.5 bond over here. Instead of double and single bond, we represent it with the 1.5 bond. So here we have the delocalization which is occurring over the whole structure, and benzene will be having the pi delocalizing ring over its surface, right? So this pi delocalization ring is having the high electron density. Pi cloud will always be having the high electron density. So it is susceptible to be attacked by the electrophiles. So whenever electrophiles are coming, they are going to attack the benzene. So coming to the reaction of nitration of benzene. So benzene is C6H6. It is going to react with HNO3. It is going to form C6H5NO2 plus H2O. So let's understand how this reaction is happening. This reaction can also be represented with the structure of the benzene. So this is the structure of the benzene plus HNO3 in the presence of concentrated nitric acid and the concentrated sulfuric acid and heat under the reflux 60 degrees Celsius. It is going to produce the nitrobenzene plus H2O. So let's understand which 3 reactions are going to happen. First is the nitric acid plus the sulfuric acid is going to form NO2 positive plus H3O positive plus 2HSO4 negative. So HNO3 plus 2H2SO4 gives NO2 positive plus H3O positive plus 2HSO4 negative. So we can write this reaction the simpler version as well. HNO3 plus H2SO4 gives NO2 positive plus H2O plus HSO4 negative. Now this NO2 positive is the electrophile. It is going to attack the benzene ring. So when it attacks the benzene ring, so here we have the double bond which is present in between only 5 carbon atoms. Here we have the single bond on the last carbon atom. So it is having hydrogen as well as NO2 bond, right? So here we can say 4 electrons are shared over the 5 carbon. So we have a positive charge induced on the benzene ring, right? So here now the positive charge can be removed with the H positive ion over here, and we can have the benzene, because benzene is more stable than this positively charged benzene structure. So now it will be remove H positive to get to the lower potential energy level, and it will be having the nitrobenzene structure plus H positive. Now what happens to the HSO4 negative? So HSO4 negative removes H positive. So here this H positive is removed by HSO4 negative. When this ion was present, it is going to remove H positive from the intermediate to form the nitrobenzene. So this was the intermediate, the benzene with the positive charge over the 5 carbons. So here, so HSO4 is this structure. Here you can see we have the lone pair of electron. It is going to attract this H positive. It is going to form H2SO4. So H2SO4 is removed as it is. It is acting like a catalyst and it is forming the nitrobenzene. I hope you understood all of the things that I have discussed. Thank you so much.